Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. How are you? Tell me how you are. I want to know. I need to know. Tuesday. Hey, Alex. Hi, Serenity. Jaunty, hello. Corey, hi. Fire Seal, yo. Aw, everybody's here. Hey, Lon. Just finished cooking. Ooh. What'd you cook? Tell me what you eaten. I need to know. Cass is here. Hello, Cass. Serenity, I will get into it soon. I'll even get into the bads. Because overall, 99.9% of fantastic con. Fantastic. But we'll get into the other stuff. There's always some bad with some good, right? Always. Slow cooker chicken tikka masala. Shit. That sounds good. Well, we talked a little bit about Gen Con last night on Gabe's stream. But for those that missed it, we'll kind of recap. And the people last night didn't get my side of it because I like to carry you guys over here. Because I'm a jerk. But, let's see. Okay. I just want to give people a little more time to kind of, roll in. All that. Gabe's here too.
Hello.
If you need him. Can you hear me okay? And how is the sound? Let me know. Let's do that before anything else. Skip. Okay. So I'm kind of stuck on what I want to work on tonight. I was thinking about working on one of my casters from the caster series I'm doing. Or, if you want, I can do some penciling. So it's either markering or penciling some more dogs. So press 1 for dogs, 2 for turtle. Sounds good, sounds fine, good. Bueno. Let's see. Hopefully Nightshade shows up. I want to ask him about his commission thing, too. Okay, so we're going towards Twiddle. Also, if Eliza shows up, I'm going to switch gears and do something that I promised I'd do for her. But she has to show up. King Dingaling, you just subscribed? Oh, man. I met him at Gen Con.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he's one of my Gen Coners. Thank you for coming. I need to grab my sub-shrub, which is MIA right now. Where are you? There you are! Okay, for those that are new here, this is my sub-shrub. He's adorable. However, he's also copywritten material. So I need to find or make a new sub-shrub, which I will do when I get time. However, until then, you get sub-shrub nub rubs. These are nubs. I'm pretty sure they're his hands. I hope so. At this point, they're getting kind of raw because anytime you subscribe, you get a sub-shrub nub rub wish. So, as I rub his nubs, make a wish. Ah. Sub-shrub nub rubs.
I'm not exactly sure what it means.
Bubbles. Oh. Hopefully you're almost done making your wish. King Diggling. Bah. And he dances too with his little rope feet. So, Globals, you also get one. Okay, ready? Make your wish. Sub-shrub nub rub. And the melancholy clover. Oh man. So melancholy. Doesn't even matter. I don't know if he causes luck. He doesn't look like he does. Thank you guys for your sub. Thank you, thank you. Wobbles, I'm surprised you don't know what that is if you've been subscribing for 7 months. I'm confused for you. Sniggle's here. Hi, Snig. It me, he said. Okay, turtles. Fair enough, Corey. Fair enough. He's so melancholy. It doesn't even make sense. Okay, I gotta get out some markers, and then we'll start. Oh no, they're spilling everywhere. No! No! How dare you? What is this system? Okay, don't be me. I have 2 marker cases. I'm using them. But for the markers I actually use that I take with me, I'm putting them in these tamale bags. I have 3 of these bags. Here, there's 2. And then this third one off to the side is actually my pencil bag. These used to hold food. We bought these with tamales in them, but I really like the bag, so I was like, oh, I can use them for various other things. And Gabe wouldn't use them, and I think he should, because he is actually Mexican, but here I am using them like a poser. But you know what? Doesn't even matter, because I like tamales. What?
I just don't like the bag itself is not.
He's so finicky.
It's not good for stuff.
It's a decent bag.
It is, but
like
for
it's
me,
super durable.
for me to carry things around,
It's like a canvas bag. Aw, it's a 7-month anniversary. Nubwubs! Welcome to the stream, King Dingling. How was the rest of your Gen Con? I'm gonna go into that in a minute. For those that weren't here at Gabe's stream yesterday, Gen Con was my best show I've ever had. And I do like 2 or 3 cons a month and have been for probably 2 years. Maybe 3 at this point. It's like 2.5 at least. Something like that. Anyway, best show ever. Seriously. For me. Now remember, if you plan on going into the convention circuit, know that anytime somebody says, it was my best show, it was their best show. You still have to find your best show. Because depending on your content, you know, what kind of products you have, what you like to draw, it's going to be different. It's going to totally be different. Somebody that draws anime is going to be totally different than somebody that draws fantasy, than somebody that makes 3D sculptures, you know. So just know that it could be a good show, but you still need to figure out what would be your best show. Let me catch up. Hi, Emmy. Yeah, Sniggle. They're at Woodman's, so they're really good tamales. We get the spinach ones. They're so good. Props on tamales, right? Thank you. Airbending turtle. Yeah. Michelle? Yeah. So he's actually going to be the 3rd in my caster series. I have 2 other pieces. I'll throw them up here in a minute. So, 2 of the other ones I've actually got prints for, and I tested the new one out at Gen Con. Did really well, so I'm really psyched about that because I really wanted to do this series. And it was one of those things where it's like, well, I don't care if other people like it, I like it, which should be your mentality on everything you do, really. And if they like it, cool. If they don't, oh well. So this was one of the other ones, real quick. This was my rabbit goat thing. Technically, and people love this story, this is actually a rabbit. 100%. It's a rabbit. However, it has cottontail papilloma virus, which if you Google that, beware, it's a little grotesque, might be a little bit squeamish, maybe don't Google it. It's an actual disease that rabbits get where they grow horns and stuff out of their face. And it's actually the origin of the jackalope, if you're familiar with the little bunny with the little antlers. I'm guessing someone was like, oh, this would be so much cuter if you had antlers instead of ram horns. Anyway, people can also get it. They're the tree people or the bark people. It's basically the same strain as warts. So, you know, you get warts on your hands and stuff, and they feel all of it. That's the same thing, just like, ugh, too much, right? So he was one of them, and then I did a porcupine, because those of you who are my regulars know porcupines are my jam. Porcupines and beavers. So, you know, and I get a lot of flack for that. Everybody's like, oh, you love beavers. I'm like, I do love beavers, the animal, yes. Everybody goes totally like, you know, south about it. I'm like, get out of here. Let me see if I can find it. Come on, it's right there. Give me a break. Casters. Tortu. Oh my god. Well, the other one is my porcupine one. I think I put it up on Instagram. Maybe? Here's the porcupine. That's the process, but here's the end. So that's what he looked like. Not all of them are going to be facing to the right and summoning something, I swear to God. They won't all be doing that. However, that's just happening right now. I'm going to get this out of here. I've never seen any of the Last Airbender stuff or Korra or anything like that. So this is my caster stuff. It has nothing to do with anything else. And if it reminds you of that, that's on your side of things. This is from my brain. I know nothing about that stuff. Yeah, Fire Seal, I'm not sure. We checked the P.O. box today. I forgot to actually look for your tracking number again, which I will do right now. Let's check it. Just to make sure it's not dead. Tracking USPS. Oh! It was supposed to be there today. Oh, it got there at 7:30 p.m. So 2 hours ago. So tomorrow I should have it, and I will do a story about it. I'm so excited for your seal, seriously. That's good, King Dang. Oh man. Oh man. It was so good for so many people. That con was phenomenal. The people there, for the most part, I'll get into this in a minute, but the people there were phenomenal. They were intelligent, they knew what they liked, they were fun to talk to, they were super sweet. Everybody's wonderful, super patient, especially when I had like connection issues, because when you're in the back of a con and you're next to like a brick wall, your reception just, it's bad. And don't think that you can get on the exhibitor internet unless you want to pay $80 a day. Not about that. Thank you, Mike. I would not expect tamales in Wisconsin. Dude, there's a huge Mexican, like, whole community here. Seriously. Yeah, the porcupine one. Porcupines? Really, Moonglide? Oh my god, a beaver that lives in your backyard. You're so lucky. They're so huge and cute, and oh my god. Beavers and porcupines are like, I feel like they're cousins, because they're like the same humpy back type of animals. I love them. Anyway, I'd show the porcupine original, but I actually brought it to Gen Con with me and sold it right away. Which is good, but I don't know. That show cleaned me out in terms of all my merch. So Dragon Con is in like 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. So I have to like replenish stuff, and especially original art, and that's tough. That's when you gotta start digging in like your old sketchbooks, because just because something's old doesn't mean it's bad, and especially if somebody might like it, you never know. Just because you might not like it anymore doesn't mean somebody else might not. So, do you know of any good resources for 2D animation? I'm interested in trying to learn it. I'm a resource. Gabe and I have actual animation degrees, and I did it for 10 years as my mobile game job. So if you're interested in that, first off though, Wobbles, I would look up the Principles of Animation and the Animator's Survival Guide. Look those up on Amazon. Those will be a good place to start. If you have Photoshop, Photoshop actually has a very crude animation toolbar that you can use, and actually I'd say it's good to start with, because it's not so overwhelming that you can't learn it really easily. It's seriously like using paper to animate, but it's in Photoshop. So if you've already got the program, why not use it? You know, you don't need anything flashy. You can still do 2D animation even if you want. If you have more questions about that, feel free to email me. Oh, Emmy, cute. Okay, so I'll talk about the bad things that were at Gen Con, because I basically made double what I ever made. I like blew my records out of the water, so I'm happy about that. So nothing that happened that was bad could change how I feel about what ended up happening. But the bad was there were 2 people that were probably the rudest people I have ever met at a convention. Let's see. Yeah, Wobbles, ask me questions. I wonder if I should actually start drawing this while I'm talking about it. Hold on. I'm gonna test some of these grays. So the first one was a guy, and he was an older dude, and he came by, and he had asked me, do you have any fish? And I was like, I might. I had one original I knew of, and then I had an anglerfish print that was on my table in a print pack. So I directed him towards those. And he picked it up. He was like, how much for this one? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, that comes in the pack. You know, maybe you know somebody else who could, you know, the other ones and whatever. And he put it back down. And then he's like, how much for a commission if I were to have you draw fish? And I was like, well, it usually goes between, you know, 100, 150, depending if you want grayscale or color and, you know, what size you want, something like that, right? Just to kind of ballpark it. Usually you can tell when somebody doesn't really want it, but they're just asking anyway, so I don't always put my full pitch in. I usually gauge people's, like, interactions with me and how much to pitch to them, because if someone's kind of like, they keep walking, and they never actually truly stop, I'm not going to give them my full pitch, because I don't want to, if they don't want to be around me and look at my stuff, I don't want to, you know, waste my time, whatever. So this guy just was like, I told him that, he's like, wow, that's really expensive. And I said, no, sir, it actually isn't, especially for commissioned original work. You're mistaken. You know, and I told him that straight up. And I was like, if you go to anybody here, you're going to hear similar things. And this art show, and it is an art show, it's not an artist alley, it's an art show. They actually have awards for stuff. And these people have all worked on, like, book covers and Magic the Gathering and stuff, so this is like high tier art. And I told him, I'm like, you go around here, you ask any of these people the same thing, it's going to be higher than that. So I'm not going to change my prices, and you should expect, you know, more in that kind of range. And he was like, oh, well, I think it's really high, and I myself am an artist. I'm like, okay. And he whipped out his phone and calmly started looking through stuff. Like, this whole time he was super, super calm. He never got heated or raised himself, but he was so rude in so many ways, and I'm not even done yet. So he was looking through his phone, and he showed me some of his art. I don't like saying art sucks, but it wasn't my kind of art. You could tell he wasn't an artist for long or did it very religiously. It was obviously very much a hobby to him. And it was like psychedelic fish, and I think some of you know what I mean when I say that. And he showed it to me, I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, I usually charge like $20 for that. I'm like, well, you shouldn't be. You know, if you're a serious artist, you're going to be charging more. He's like, yeah, usually, you know, people quote me at about $20 for stuff. Your prices are out of this world, sort of thing. And I was like, okay, do you have other jobs that you do? And he's like, oh yeah, I've got tons of jobs. I work all the time. And he was trying to impress me with that, but then I caught him with the whole, well, this is my only job. Obviously, you're getting income from elsewhere, and art is just a hobby for you. So you can literally afford to not charge more for that. And he was like, eh. And then he just kind of walked along. He's like, I'll let you know. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. It was so, his, like, mannerisms were just so pretentious, and I don't know. I tried to school him in the fact that, you know, people should be paying for art. You should be paying for art. If any of you are charging less than $20 for your originals, stop it right now. Because I had to tell him also that, you know, $20, you have to cut that in half for taxes if you're in my boat, and you have to also think how many hours you spent on it. You want to at least be getting, $20 an hour for anything you're doing, right? So, $20, cut in half for taxes, because taxes take some, and then making sure you're getting that much an hour, like, that's insane. This guy was just not, anyway, he was not cool. So, there's that guy. Then I had another short, sweet interaction with a younger girl who was very much an anime kid. She was cosplaying like, you know, what was that one anime that's super popular that everybody's dressing as? I think it was Voltron. Pretty sure she was dressed as Voltron. Anyway, she was maybe 5 feet from my table. She points at my banner and she says, "That's the worst hamster I've ever seen." And I like looked at her like, well, that's because it's a guinea pig. And she got up close and she's like, yeah, that's even worse. I was like, you are rude. And she's like, and she walked away. Where are these people coming from? I don't understand. I don't know. Anyway, so that was funny. If nothing else, it was just funny because these people were so unbelievable, and at least they were characters and they make for good stories, right? They didn't hurt anything of mine. They didn't, you know, deter business or anything. But when this sort of shit happens, I'm gonna tell you things. You know, if you are that rude, and I have a rudometer, okay? If like someone's a little bit rude and they're just kind of walking on, I'll just be like, not worth my time. But if they're sticking around or something, I'm gonna tell them how I feel. And I don't care if they go to their friends or whatever and they're like, oh, that Clover Kid's an asshole. I don't care because you were fucking rude, alright? That was so messed up. I can't even go into it. So, anyway, those were the two rude people. But usually you don't get people like that. Usually it's really great. You get really wonderful people. Like I said, everybody I got, other than those two, was just a phenomenal person. Really, really, really just great. So, I'm happy about that. Anyway, let me catch up in chat real quick. Sorry about that. Ranting. Yeah, I don't know what the guy was doing, Wubbles, with thinking he could get those kind of prices. He had said he already got someone at the con to do that, but I'm guessing if he did, like, okay, there's two things. Either he did, and that person just drew, like, a squiggle that was, like, 2 by 2 or something, right? And he just wants to say that to kind of at me, or he's just lying. There's no way. So his art sucked. Yeah, Tomsy, right? It did! I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. It sucked to me. To anyone else, it might be cool. I don't know. But to me, I don't know. I got my likes. He wasn't one of them. Fuck your fish. Right? Oh. Oh, and Walters, thank you for the follow. And Tomty and Moonglade. Thank you.
Moonglade.
The audacity, am I right, Michelle? Jeez. Oh. Yeah, it was just weird. So I was thinking, like, the only thing that kind of brings me back to being realistic about stuff is, like, maybe they've got some social thing, or maybe they had a bad day. I don't know. So I try to think about it like that, because otherwise, just thinking that these people are just normal and like this, I don't know. I don't know how they get through the day. They're probably those people that yell at baristas. Right? I mean, really. Ay, yeah. Hold on. My camera's all screwed up. Yeah, okay. For anybody who's using the website Fiverr or has heard of it, don't touch it. Don't go near it, and if your friends even want to consider it, hit them in the face and tell them no, so they remember. Because really, that website is destroying art, hands down. Because it's like $5 for art, and it's like, no! What the hell is wrong with you? Right, Sniggle? Worst hamster I've ever seen. It's a guinea pig. Oh, that's even worse. What does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. If anybody has any stories like that, I'd love to hear it. Because at this moment, I need some, like, catharsis. Tell me some of your stories. Come on. Oh, and Walters, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you like my stuff. Thanks for coming to the chat. Glad to have you here. I hope the rest of your Gen Con was awesome. Because as far as I can see, everyone who went loved it. like, it was a total 100% success for everybody. Hey, Soggy. Yeah, Tom, they could just be assholes. Yeah, totally. I hit my face in the face anyway. Cass, it's not easy to hit people over the table at a con. You gotta reach really far and then you hyperextend like your shoulder. It's not worth it. You gotta throw things. That's the thing. Don't get me started. Oh, God. Yeah, right? Corey, fiber's horrible. Ugh. Yeah, Sniggle, that's a mess. No, King! Well, I'm sorry about your phone. That sucks. Get your Ratchet Transformers cosplay back home. Damn, Cass, I need you to just be my, like, pull you out of the side and just rant at people, because I just dish logic too quickly, angry logic, but you can actually, like, you can insult really well. So, like, if I reach level 3 and logic isn't working, I just pull out my Cass and be like, hey, talk to her now. She's like, let's take a walk. Oh, Sagi, no, you're on your crazy thing again? Oh, yeah, Sniggle, I remember that story. That was such a good story. Hey, if I ever get bigger, you'll be my first choice for behind the booth assistance. How about that? I'd totally be for that. God damn, I can't. I mean, just on consideration alone, like, I don't understand. I stuck out like a sore thumb at this con too. Like I said, it's an art show, so it was basically everybody that goes to Spectrum as an artist was here for that. So it was very much like a Spectrum-y crew of people. So you know my setup for the most part. Some of you do. So I kind of look like I'm trying to entertain kids, which that helps too. I was giving away free coloring pages. I'm not a bad guy, right? It's just, I don't know, those people, I can't even, the nerve, the absolute nerve.
Have you ever seen that dog with the gloves?
What?
So Moonglide did this drawing for it. Kyle Starks hates. Like this is his no, no, don't show me that picture.
Gloves?
He hates dogs with gloves. Look at that link that I just put in.
Dogs with gloves.
This is the picture.
Is this like the cats with the nylons?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
So Moonglade came over and she drew a picture for Kyle.
Oh no.
And then gave it to him. He's like, no.
Aw, thank you, Michelle. Oh yeah, Tom, I would never do portraits of people. People's pets is so much easier. Like when I do pet portraits, like I'll tell you guys, I have my commissions mentorship that I offer, but the number one thing I would say is if you do commissions of any kind, two things. Find your niche, alright, that's very you, that you're good at and you could do 1,000,000 times, and also to have a book or a body of work that people can look through that's all consistent and all those type of things. So if you've never done commissions before, but you really want to start doing it, do a whole series that's in like similar formula, to either the same medium, same content sort of thing, same theme, right? And put those all in a book, so when you're pitching that you do commissions, that you can hand them this book or folder that has your art in it and be like, and it's going to look like these. Because if they can actually see what the final result is, then they're going to be more swayed and feel more secure and trusted with you that it's going to come out that way. See, the whole thing with me and my portraits is that I drive this home as a business, right? And I've got that book. In the book itself, this book shows you exactly what they're going to look like. And what's even better is that this book's actually a little older now, so that when they get the portrait, I've leveled up since this time, so it's going to be better than they expected. So the other thing is, I don't usually give like in-progress sketches or anything. And it's because they've already seen some end results. And if they know that, you don't have to send them in progresses, and especially a lot of the time it's going to make them more confused, more worried, or they're going to get too involved in it and you're going to lose interest in it and you're going to dislike it when they start saying, well, I need this, 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 and this. I never get that with these. I've done over 200 of these, and it's like I do it my way and they're just always happy, which is so cool. I've maybe had 3 people who are like not even upset, but they just like maybe they didn't send me a picture of one of the paws and that was the only paw that had white toes, and this happened. I sent it to her. She's like, oh no, I forgot to give you a picture of her other foot. She's got white toes. Would you mind fixing it? And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. So she sent it back, fixed it, sent it back to her. So it was little stuff like that, but I've never had someone be like, oh, I hate my portrait. This is terrible. So really, I attribute that to the fact I have a bunch of stuff that proves what it'll look like. So I think for those of you who are starting, that's really important. Anyway, thank you for not doing digital. I never usually do on here. The only times I do digital is if I'm working on like a Twitch overlay for someone, or if I'm animating. This bumper here, this screen, I animated during a Twitch stream once, just so I could kind of do a walkthrough of like how to easily make a loop, stuff like that. But yeah. Oh, bye, Wubbles! Yeah, thank you for coming. Hi, Sophia. Oh my god, I gotta catch up. Everybody's leaving or coming in. Oh my god. Mike, did you really measure your screen? Jesus. Thank you, King. I like my setup. It's probably at, I'd say a 2.5 or 3 out of what I'd want it to be, but it's come a long way. Yeah. Wait. 2.5 or a 3 out of what I'd want it to be, which is like a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's got a way to go, but
I heard all that, and then I thought you said it's about a 2.3 out of a 3 of how I want it, and I'm like, that's oddly like that's a fucking weird number. Like you could have said like a 3 out of 5.
Oh man. Wow. Gabe is half in the bowl right now. He's like super into. What are you doing? Your comic? He's working on a comic, so he can't show it, but he's just half in the conversation and half in the bag, not the bowl.
I like the bowl.
Shut up. I hear him become my harness. So Tom, that's why I chose to do my pet portraits, because I did the whole, I translate their personalities into D&D and RPG classes that suit them, because I'm drawing fantasy animals anyway. That's what I love to do. So for a while, Gabe was even doing your pet in a mech. Though it was too close to me, so he was like, yeah, I'll stop it. And I was like, cool, thanks. But like, I knew someone who was doing like pets and desserts or dogs and desserts or something. I mean, pet portraits are so much easier than people portraits in a lot of ways. You have a lot of room to move around in. You just have to be good at drawing animals, I think. If you're not good at drawing animals, it's going to be tough. And honestly, I think animals are harder than humans because there's so many different things with them. You learn how to draw a human, even if it's a guy or a girl, and you just dial a few things, and that's it. Like, you just know how to draw humans. Animals are so different, and I get birds, I get lizards, I get dogs, cats, hamsters, rats, all these sort of things, where you have to learn all this different anatomy, right? So, as long as you can, like, think of a spin that's true to you and what you like to do, and also feeds a need that people have, I don't think you'll ever be really upset doing commissions. It's when you force yourself to do something you don't want to do, and that goes for any kind of art. And that's why we always say, don't do art that's popular, do what you want to do. Because any art you put up on like Instagram or anything, you want that to be true to you, because then you're going to get the followers who are loyal to you and like your art for your art and you. If you draw something that's popular and you're not too keen on it and you get popular for that, and people follow you for that, they're going to expect that, and when you deviate from that, they're not going to like you anymore and they'll leave. They're not loyal. Because you're not loyal to yourself, technically. And that's why fan art can be bad, too. So I've drawn so many animals at this point that I can, you know, I love doing them still. 5 out of 7 perfect score. Yeah, I went to the Art Institute for Animation as well, got a degree, went into mobile games for 10 years, got out because it was terrible, bad industry, and I'm doing what I want now, so it's crazy. So yeah, you guys, you can always turn down commissions, okay? If I get, like even if the person feels weird, I turn them down, right? Because sometimes you get really weird or really uncomfortable commission requests, you turn those down. If anything feels wrong, you stop. Okay, don't do that for the money. It's not worth it. And if you feel like let's say, and this is part of becoming fearless with art, I am going to start probably a series of short videos about all the things we talk about on this Twitch channel, with like being fearless with art, all that sort of thing. But being able to turn down commissions is part of being a confident, fearless artist, because you're not doing it for the money. You know what you like, and you're not going to do anything you don't want to do. So if you want to make strides to becoming that fearless, confident artist, make sure you're only doing the things you want to do. All right? Bye, Sniggle. Thanks for coming. I miss you. Exactly. Sammy, yeah, you get it. Oh, Cass, are you and Sniggle just going to meet up then? Turn down commission requests. No, that's good, Serenity. I'm proud of you. That's what you should be doing. I mean, only do the stuff, and you know, you're going to do a better job with the ones that you want to do as opposed to the ones you don't. And then when you hand it over, you want to hand over something you're proud of. You don't want to hand someone something or send them out something you're just kind of dreading them to open. That's a terrible feeling. Don't ever do that. And honestly, commissions aren't for everyone either. Gabe's not usually a commission artist. He'll only do a couple that he feels like doing. Otherwise, he doesn't want to do them. A lot of our artist friends don't like doing them. And that's fine. You don't have to. Commissions aren't a must for artists. They really aren't. I mean, you really don't have to ever. I like them because they keep me on my feet, you know, keep me on my toes, keep me sharp, and challenge me. And I'm not even just talking about the pet commissions. So something that's popular at cons is actually having people come up to you with sketchbooks and doing a sketchbook commission. They'll hand you a book that they've had multiple artists draw in, and they're like, how much would it cost to get you to draw in the book? And sometimes they leave it completely up to you. I'd say like 80% of the time they let you draw whatever you want and they'll pay you for it. Other times, like, I like to at least gear it towards them. So when they hand me the book, they'll be like, oh yeah, draw whatever you want, draw what's natural for you. And I'll be like, well, I can do that, but I'd also like to make you, happy with it. So, what's your favorite animal? Do you like tea or something like that? That was one I did this weekend. Here, I'll show you real quick. At Gen Con, I got 2 sketchbook commissions, which is about normal. I think I usually get 2 at every con, but here, I got this one, and she wanted me to draw whatever I wanted, and I was like, well, what's your favorite animal? And she said an aardvark. And I had never drawn an aardvark, and I was like, hell yeah, I want to draw an aardvark. So I totally took it on, and I was like, okay, do you like coffee or tea or anything like that? Because immediately I had a cute idea of something drinking tea, right? And what was hilarious was she revealed her shirt, and she was wearing a shirt about tea. So I was like, there it is. Okay, I'm good to go. So I did this in her sketchbook. It was a little sketchbook. It was probably like a 5x7. And this was one of the times that was really interesting because I quoted her at like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks, something like that. And I was like, yeah, whatever, I didn't really care because I had fun with it. And you can do that, But when she came back, I was like, you know what? Between 30 and 50, whatever you feel like paying me, I'm totally cool with. And she's like, 50. And she's like in love with it, which is an awesome feeling, So that I think you get paid in, what you do well. So make sure you're doing it well. And then this other one, this lady wanted a drunk rogue cat. After I grilled her, I'm like, well, what do you want? Because the rest of the sketchbook was just dragons. And I was like, is the theme dragons? And she's like, no, people just keep drawing dragons. And I looked at the cover, and the cover was a dragon. So I'm guessing everyone that drew in it thought it was a dragon sketchbook. So I'm glad I asked. And I was like, well, you know, what's the story of the sketchbook? And she's like, well, I'm trying to fill a few pages in the beginning to give to my husband for his birthday so that he can go out and start doing the same thing and get, you know, more of the people he wants, but I wanted to start it for him. I was like, that's a fantastic idea. I love that. Okay, then what kind of things does he like? Because then I found out it was for the husband. So then I was like, well, let's gear it towards him, right? Anyway, so it's good to ask this kind of stuff. You know, because then they'll be happier, and that's really the point, right? Oh, Nightshade! Did you find out from your sister about the peacock thing? The vaping turtle. You know what? I'm cool with that. He's not drawing it in, he's putting it out, but I'm totally cool with that. He's actually manifesting a head of lettuce, but it's okay. Actually, let me tell you the behind the scenes of this one. This is actually one of my favorite caster ones I thought of. Because the mythos behind it I could write a whole story about, which I might at some point. But the whole thing was that they'd have to sacrifice their shells at a certain point in their like apprenticeship or something, or getting good with magic, right? And they'd have to sacrifice their shell, in turn sacrificing their defense for more offense. So being able to further their arcana, you know, through using something that's theirs, that's very important to them and their being. So the fact that, you know, she's using her own shell, I figured that was kind of cool. But these kind of stories make a huge difference when you're actually talking to people at a convention about every print. If every print has a story, sometimes that's the deciding factor for them. A lot of the times when I've got someone that's deciding for the buy two get one free deal, they're between two prints for the third one, and you know, I'll tell them the story between both, and that'll be the reason they pick one. So make sure that you're kind of, you know, thinking of things a little bit deeper than normal with some stuff. And the one I don't have a story for, I use it as a joke. I have one print that's literally just a wooden teapot. That's it. Just a wooden teapot. I could make a story for that, like, oh, this is the fairies teapot, blah, blah, blah. I thought it'd be funnier to just say, yep, and all these have stories except the teapot. It's literally just a teapot, and people laugh at it. They think it's funny. So sometimes that's kind of fun too. Aw, Nightshade. Well, Cass, you and Sniggle should meet up, because I don't know if, like, with how Gabe and my schedule is, I don't know how doable it's going to be between us. So definitely you guys do it, for sure. Oh, thanks, Alex. Thanks, Tom. Sometimes a teapot, just a teapot. True that. Yeah, Wicked West, right? That's how I feel too, man. Like, the more you can add to your art, whether it's alluding to a story that's there or actually telling someone that there's a story, it's 100% better. I just don't like the high art type of thing where, you know, well, this represents society and where we're going as a nation. Because usually it's kind of BS, but you know, when it's character based or something that's a little more literal, I enjoy that more. I like symbolism, yeah, but it has to be thought out and actually look like what it's meant to. Sometimes I feel like people just make art and then fill in the story behind it later and don't draw with intent, which you should be. You know, you should always be thinking about what you're drawing as you're drawing it. But a lot of the knowledge I was dropping throughout the weekend to the aspiring artists was the one about ruining your first sketchbook page to get fearless with it. because that was one of the ones that was huge, I feel like. And just the fact to become fearless with art and confident. A lot of people ask, like, how do you get so confident with your art? It's really the whole idea of becoming fearless. And how do you become fearless? How does a warrior become fearless? They go up against foes often. They go into battle all the time, you know? They're never not trying a new, challenge. So that's got to be you. Draw all the time. If something scares you, do it. That's usually a good sign, and especially with art. You have nothing to lose. It's not like, you're going to get hurt or something like that. And everything you draw, as long as you're drawing what you want to draw, you have nothing to worry about. If someone doesn't like your art, it's not for them. It's okay. Everyone has their own demographic. The trick is to find it. Red Dragon, thank you for the follow. Yeah, the whole thing behind failure being negative needs to go. Yeah, do you want to improve twice as fast? Fail twice as fast. That whole thing. And it's true, man. It's so true. I mean, I always go back to this, but when we were in Europe and we saw Da Vinci's sketchbook, dude was all over the place. He had, messed up sketches everywhere, and that's okay. That's what it's supposed to be. Your sketchbook's supposed to be a fucking mess. If it's perfect, I almost feel like you're doing something wrong,
Tell them about that patchwork thing.
Oh, so I talked about this in Gabe's stream yesterday, but someone at the con and I'm telling you, these people, for the most part, minus the two I told you about earlier, were really insightful, very intelligent people. I mean, it's a board game con, so obviously there's going to be intelligent people there. But someone came up to me and told me about the fact I stuck out and what that meant in terms of, like, a whole, because there's this idea, and I think he said Amish culture, about the patchwork square and like quilting and stuff, that if you make something look too perfect, it's gonna look too pretentious, or it's not gonna keep you humble. So a lot of the time, Amish people will do something wrong on purpose on what they're making to make it appear more humble, right? To make it appear more human. If anyone's seen Parks and Rec, it's like when Ron at the end, I think it was in season 7, he destroys a chair he makes, and they're like, "Why'd you do that, Ron?" And he's like, "It was too perfect. It looked machine made."
It was a chair, right?
It was a chair. He makes. Yeah, it was for Tom's Bistro.
Yeah.
But someone had told me that, and that I was the patchwork square that was off a little in the whole con, and I thought that was neat. But then they had mentioned too that it was a good thing, and that I on my table had something that was the patchwork square too, where it was off, and it was my King of the Castle piece that I did recently, and it's basically white, where my entire table was sepia, but it draws your eye and it makes you come in. And there is kind of this convention theory, I'll say, that you need like an eyesore piece or like an eye-catching piece that'll bring people in. Usually it's a bigger piece. For me, it's actually my commission banner, but because it's big, it's got big text, and people are like, "Oh my god!" Keep it short and simple and concise. But yeah, it was really cool because I had never heard of that, but I love that concept like crazy. Oh, this is a gel pen right here. This is a white gel pen. I usually use white gel pens, white colored pencil, and markers. But for when I do these pieces, it's usually marker, like colored markers, pastel pencils, and colored pencils. So I might be coloring either this or chinchilla on Thursday. So stop by for that. The chinchilla will probably be pretty cool. I'm excited about that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm excited for it. Yeah, and Serenity, you can have multiple sketchbooks too. I have basically a sketchbook for every story I started. I have a sketchbook for different things, like if it's a different medium, I've got a watercolor sketchbook, I've got an ink sketchbook, a pencil one, like, it's whatever you want. They're, like, you don't need one even, you know? There's too many people out there trying to make too many rules for this sort of stuff, and it shouldn't have rules. It's the whole purpose, you know, that art should not have rules. Anyway, Nightshade, are you here? I'm not sure if you heard my question earlier. Oh, weird. Red, that's crazy. Did you draw her inappropriately? Maybe that's why. Said in the past, markers are all about where you start and flicking them, and this is why you want the brush tip marker, not the chisel tip, so you can have this sort of effect, and it's going to really help in a lot of ways. Like, where you start is going to denote where the gradient is, and as far as markers go, they're all about gradient. Like, if you can make a good gradient with a marker, you basically mastered markers. So you just have to know where to start. Some things like metals and stuff like that have certain spots where, you know, the metal starts and the highlights start and the shadows start. And if you kind of know all those things, you can do a pretty good job. Hey, Paradox Moose. Yeah, no, art is not pass-fail. Everyone is going to have their different opinion of art, which is the blessing and the curse of it. People just need to, and by people I mean artists, you guys, us, all of us, need to not get offended when someone doesn't like our stuff. When someone doesn't like our stuff, it's just not for them. Like, it's that simple. You just got to find the people it is for and just keep moving on until you find them. Example, in the past, I've told my Twitch followers and stuff, like, you know, you could be an artist that paints with ketchup and everybody could say blah 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 on you until you find someone that's like, this is amazing, right? And they appreciate everything about it. I saw a video today on someone that paints with toothpaste. Not even lying. It looked like oil paint, but they were doing it with toothpaste, and, you know, they make a living off it, and you can. You can be that guy. Hold on, I might get loud. Sorry. Okay, so Serenity, I'll give you a quick metal tutorial that I've done in the past here. This would be on one of my videos that I plan on doing too. All my videos I plan on being like a minute to 2 minutes maybe. So you basically, to make a good gradient, need 2 to 3 grays, let's say, and a colored pencil, like a white colored pencil, and maybe a gel pen. It all depends. But depending on what you're drawing, if it's a sphere or like a bracer, let's say, so a cylinder or a sphere, always start with the light first of the markers, right? And I mean, if you have practiced primitives in the past, you'll understand how light hits them. So if the light's over here and it's hitting them, right? And this flicking is super important, and you need to go with the contours, and this is what I'm saying about, this is why we practice primitives in school and stuff, for this reason. In this case, it's probably going to be like this. There's typically always a little bit of rim lighting on stuff, so you'll want to include that. But usually with metal, it's going to be mid-tone, highlight, and then a gradient down to the darkest part, and then highlight again. Okay? So basically, let's see. Highlight, mid-tone, highlight to dark, and then highlight. Basically like that. So as I'm doing this, you'll kind of see what I mean. And then of course there's going to be a little bit of a shadow, you know. And from here it'll be over there. If it's hitting it that way. And then sometimes I'll do the like light color first, and then I'll do the dark color real quick. And then I'll go back with the light color again to make the mid-tone. That's only if I like don't have some good in-between colors. I should have actually done this one first. So you can always blend them better later. Gotten to this point, you do that. If it's metal, it's always got a hot spot. For the most part, always does. I'd say 80% of the time. And then it's always got that rim light, right? And sometimes there's bounce lighting off the floor that comes up here. Sometimes I'll put that in, depending on what it is. And then you kind of just shade it to kind of bring the colors together a little more with values. And you could even do this hot spot with like a gel pen, just to make sure it's still good. But this hot spot that's here would actually be here on this one. And you kind of blend it like that. So that's a quick kind of, this is a basic, super basic metal, and it can change depending on the metal, what's around it. You're going to have reflections and refractions and stuff, so. Yeah, Sophia is right. It works on mid-tone papers because the mid-tone's already filled in for you. You can use the same formula on white paper, but it's going to be a little bit harder because then you're going to have to take into account that the highlight is basically the paper color. So. Hi, Pink Bubble. I was doing a metal tutorial real quick. Sorry. Art of Travis, welcome. Thank you for the rain. Yeah, usually, honestly, I like Prismacolors better, but they don't have a refill option. Otherwise, I'd use Prismacolors all the time. I like how they feel so much better. And I like their grays better too. For some reason, Copic has 4 different kinds of grays, and none of them feel like or look like the Prismacolor ones. I don't know why. I don't know why. And that's okay, Serenity. You don't have to use the mid-tone paper. It's totally cool. Thank you, Slow Turtle. It's interesting you came in tonight for the turtle. I'm all about very soft magic in my pieces, so Chazra, thank you for the follow. You're welcome, Serenity. It was toner, cool, natural, and warm. Pretty sure it was warm. That's what the W is on this one. But yeah, none of them, like I've gone through them all to try and match them. Because when I switched over from Prismacolor to Copic, because I use so many markers for my commissions that I was like, I'm actually losing money by not refilling them, so I should just switch over so I can have refills, because Prismacolor doesn't have refills yet. I don't know why. So I had to sit in a Dick Blick for like an hour going back and forth with my swatch sheets, because I have swatch sheets. These sort of things. I have swatch sheets. So this was my Prismacolor one for my usual palette. Remember, you as an artist have your own palette So remember to actually look for colors you like to use.
Oh my god.
But I spent all that time trying to figure out the equivalent for Prismacolor and Copic. And as far as the grays go, I couldn't find a really good one, honestly. I'm not too happy with the outcome of them, so honestly, I'll probably still buy Prismacolor grays and continue using a mix of the two for everything else.
Thank you.
I'm not sure, Sophia. Maybe till 11, so an hour? Tom, at some point, yeah. There was a guy that was actually super interested in this after he looked at my other parts of this series. And he was like, oh, I want to buy that off you. And I was like, well, email me. So far he hasn't emailed me, but I'm hoping to have this for Dragon Con as a print and as the original to sell. I did that for my Porcupine one that I did recently. And yeah, so that one sold pretty quick. Otherwise I would have offered it up to you guys, but it actually went quicker than I thought it would. But yeah, he should be ready within, I don't know, I think I was going to order prints of this Friday, so hopefully on Instagram I'll be sharing this in a day or two. Well, I hope you have a good sleep, Tom. Michelle said bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for anybody who's new here, yeah, Tom, $20, right? Yeah, obviously. These are all my social links. I'm most active on Instagram. I try to do a lot of Insta stories and stuff, but all the other ones are kind of forwarded, you know. And if anybody wants to get in on the processes of these, I do it on my Patreon for even just $1. So if you just give me $1, you'll see into all the magical inner workings and stuff. Mepsky? How do you even say that? Oh, bye, Alex. Thanks for coming. Travis said you're so loud, Gabe.
So.
Yeah, Serenity, it did. Hey, Shep, welcome. Yeah, the warms are too warm. That's the thing. The warms are too warm. The neutrals are weird. The toners, I don't even know. And the cools, I just never like. So, I don't know what it is, but there's no in-between that even feels like Prismacolors. Which, I'm probably the only person in the world that loves Prismacolors, but whatever. They were great to start with. If anybody here is interested in starting markers, or anything for that matter, start small and get a lesser quality of a medium. Sammy Ann, thank you for the follow. Make sure you get cheaper stuff, just to see if you even like how it feels, how it works, how it reacts, all that kind of stuff. Because you don't want to spend a ton of money and find out you hate it. That's just dumb. Don't do that. So make sure you start small. If you want to start with markers, get some Prismacolors. And until you start using them a lot, like I have, then you won't need to switch over, really. I mean, it's up to you, but honestly, as far as quality goes between the two, I haven't ever noticed too much of a difference. Granted, I don't blend colors as much as other people, but Copics apparently are famous for the blending. So if that's your thing, go for it. I use markers a little unconventionally, so for me it's not as big of a deal, but if that's you, you might like Copics more. Totally up to you though. Oh good, Sophia. Yeah, the only reason I switched is just because it makes more sense with the refills. Yeah, I usually don't buy stuff online when it comes to markers because I like to try them. A few times I've gotten dried out markers from online orders, so I like to go and make sure they're not dry. But now we're an hour away from our nearest Dick Blick, so I take a chance now and then. I have an online store that I trust a lot. They're usually really good about their quality products and things. If anybody's heard of Jerry's Artorama, they're great. I love them. They take care with their stuff, so. Yeah, and that's the thing I don't like. The cool grays are like blue. And on warm paper, Yeah, Sophia, I feel you. Hey, Grim. Thanks everyone for the follows. Welcome. Let me know if you have any questions on anything. That feels so weird to say. 'Cause that's. Let me know if you have any questions, like your con voice. Let me know if you have questions. I get kind of anxious and I really want to do all the highlights right away, so as soon as I finish like a shading area, I'm like, oh, I want to do the whites. I have to wait. I have to actually cool it. But how do I combat the future fading? So Sophia, the reason that I use the pastel pencils too is because it actually pumps all my colors forward with the markers. So I can't really weigh in on just marker pieces because I don't usually make just marker pieces. A lot of things that I use marker on are mixed media piece. Like this one, you know, it's got, you know, the colored pencil in it and stuff. I don't consider that just a marker piece. So, but in terms of the marker fading, I haven't heard complaints yet about my commissions, but I think it just happens if you're not using paint. I don't think a lot of markers are meant to last. That might be their only true downside.
I guess also as long as you don't keep it in the sun, you should be good.
Yeah, the sun will kill it. What about water markers, like water-based markers? Are those have more staying power, you think?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not actually.
Because I don't think it's like
Oh,
good.
thank you, Shadow Room.
I don't think it's good pigment.
Yeah. I would also suggest, really quickly, chisel tip, in my opinion, is for people in the fashion industry and architecture, or if you're getting into very rigid spaces, or you've got blocks of color that you need to fill in. I never use that, ever. Like 100% of the time I'm using the brush tip. Because you can get that flick that you can't get with the chisel side, and the flick actually acts almost like a brush, and you can get the really nice gradients with all your markers. So, yeah, water-based markers are terrible. Unless you use them the right way, which it seems like, so alcohol markers, the more you add on top of them, they're going to stay the same color. Water-based markers act like a multiply layer in Photoshop. So if you know how to use that appropriately, you can get them to work well. You can also use those in accordance with watercolors, which is a nice mix too. If you know how to do it, you can make it work. Because both watercolor and water-based markers layer on themselves. So you can actually do pretty nice cell shading with water-based markers. I used to do that a lot. But if you're looking for nice gradients and stuff, it's pretty hard to get that with water-based markers. That is weird, Sophia. I haven't heard that. Alright. Thinking of colors. Maybe I should make that dark. Oh, night, Sammy. Thanks for coming. Yeah, you bet. We're usually like this, and typically we're fired up or ranting about something. So, look forward to having you on the stream later. Have a good night, alright? So I know you guys, I told you that we'd be starting Journey June again. We're still gonna. However, we're gonna wait a little bit on it just because Gabe wants to get his new computer and he has to do it digitally. So he's gonna have to figure out how to like do his line work. And we're gonna have to figure it out on our own here. But once we get his like setup up and going, he'll do that. And then for me, I should probably be working on mine next week sometime. I have to wrap my head back around the story, which is going to take a little bit. I have some work to finish up now that I'm back home. But then we will be at Dragon Con August 29th through September 3rd. It's a 5-day con. I dread it all the time, but it's a good con. It's just really long. What? Like, we're gone that time. Dragon Con lasts from the 30th, I think, to the 3rd. So. That's cool, Grim. Go with it. Oh, Sophia, yeah, take him out. He needs a potty. Take him out, take him out, take him out. So I ran out of my Prisma Grays, so that's why I'm using the Copic Grays on this one. But I am a little worried now because they're not the same grays, so granted I don't have the originals anymore anyway, but hopefully I can. I'm usually pretty good about being able to balance them digitally, so I'll make it look like the other ones. It's just...
Wait, did you say that you ran out of...
Prisma Grays.
Okay.
Yeah. The ones I prefer.
Right.
Copic Grays are not the shades I like. I mean, the only reason Copics are more successful than Prismacolor is because Prismacolor is just a US-based company, and Copic is worldwide. But also because Copic has refills and Prismacolor doesn't. If they would just get on the train, I'd go back. Honestly, I'd go back. Sophia, good night. Have a good one. Enjoy your doggy walk. Pup walks. And Gabe and I are thinking of moving again so that we can get our dog. We want a dog. We miss not having dogs.
You're gonna be stupid
A lot of things.
if like they if we move and then like
Oh, they allow dogs then?
yeah,
That'd be crap.
yeah.
I would be pissed. But then again, maybe not, because maybe our next place will be better. Like just with size or something. This place is great, but maybe the next
It's not
place
bigger. It's a little bit smaller.
It's smaller?
Or no, I don't think it was small.
I thought you had said it's bigger. Blanca, thank you for the follow. Hey, Soggy. It's true. Did you get your job then? Like, for sure? You got it through? I've been worrying about you. I'm just gonna ask that, and that's it, I swear to God. I won't belabor it. I just need to know for my own sake. Good. Congrats, homie.
Good job.
Proud of you. If you need any help planning anything further, though, let us know. Like with where to go, what to do, all the stuff you need to get. We'll gladly help. It's true, Soggy. It's true. Serenity, I think it's more about the place, and that when you have pets in an apartment complex or something, they have to replace the carpet and stuff almost every time someone moves out. So it's not very cost effective for the apartment building. So usually they'll just no pets, and that's easier for them. And also then the security deposits aren't as high, stuff like that. But it is a pain in the ass for them to have to keep, changing flooring and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's why, anyway. Yeah. Not only that, but Gabe and I have to kind of wait till our con stuff slows down. So because we don't want to get a dog and keep doing as many cons as we are. It's just not fair to the dog. And plus, I don't trust anyone watching my dog, so it's almost like the time will settle down, you know, and have a family, you know. Oh, really, Serenity? You have to replace your own carpets? That's crazy.
Weird.
That would be super expensive. Is it only if the apartment deems it necessary that you have to? Like if they look at it and they're like, you gotta replace that before you go? Or is it just everyone always has to? Also, Serenity, how's your sleep thing going? Is it getting better? This might not make sense right now what I'm doing, but give me a minute. Hold on a sec. Aw, thanks, Shadow. I appreciate you even going to my website. Thank you. Oh, wow, Serenity. I guess that makes sense. Do you guys do security deposits then when you move in? Or is that technically your security deposit? Because I guess that would make sense. That you actually don't have a security deposit if you have to replace your own carpet, I'm guessing? That sounds right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what our security deposits are used for. If we screw up the walls or the apartment or something, they take it out of that deposit. You know, unless it's really bad, then I think they actually fine you. But, like if you put a hole in the wall or something. But yeah. Oh no, Serenity. Hey DHT. How are you doing? DHT, you good? Sorry to hear, Serenity. In the meantime, can you take like ZQuil or something, or like a sleep aid? So they do the security deposit plus you need to fix it. That's crazy. Oh, night, Michelle. Thanks for coming. You and Mike both. Oh, weird. Serenity, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. That just sucks. Oh, Mike's still here. Okay. Sorry I lumped you together, couples. You know. Happens all the time. think so, Mike, yeah. I don't think it's without pain. In my opinion, it should be painful, and, you know, if everyone, or if it were easy, everyone would do it, that whole thing. So, yeah, I would think it's excruciating. So they have an idea of what pain is not to potentially inflict it too harshly upon others. I would almost see them as healers, because of that. So maybe, you know, she's a white mage or something, or like a cleric, but knowing pain as not to inflict it sort of mentality. But yeah, I don't think it should be painless, especially if they're using it to enhance their craft, because I mean, it's like art, right? Is art painless? No. Putting yourself into something sometimes, you know, at least you're gonna get a neck ache. That's something. That's still sacrifice. Sacrifice never needs to fully be physical either. You know, mentally pouring yourself into stuff, or even worrying about stuff. Some people worry about their art. That might be their sacrifice. Because anytime you worry about anything, you're putting energy towards it. Remember that. Because I tried to, well, first of all, I used to worry about everything. I used to be very much a worrywart, and I still kind of am, but I've gotten better at knowing what I have power over and what I don't. And I think that's really important for just anybody to recognize. Because otherwise, you're wasting time and you're wasting energy. You know, so why worry about it if you can't control it? Anything you can control, absolutely, you know. But I actually, when I was a kid, I reached a point, I think during my high school years, when I would study my butt off for something, and then I'd be like, it'd be 11 p.m. or something, and, you know, my time to go to bed back then. And I'd be like, well, if I don't know it now, I never will. And I kind of just, that was my make peace with it before the next day, before going to class and stuff. It's like, well, I tried. If it's not sticking, it's not sticking, you know? And I still kind of believe that. I think if, you know, people learn different ways too. And the way our American educational system is, I don't think it's for everybody. Not everybody learns that way. You know, I had boyfriends that didn't finish high school and stuff like that, but they learned differently. You know, some of them were just asshats and didn't want to finish, but other ones, like, you know, were good guys, they just couldn't learn that way. You know, and I know a lot of people like that. They just couldn't learn the way that the school is trying to teach them. So I feel like a lot of people are in that boat. So if you're in that boat, don't feel like you're less or anything like that. You just learn differently. And just like finding your demographic with art, you have to find the way you learn best. Whether that's through metaphor, repetition, what have you, finding out is the hardest thing, I think. Oh, gotcha, Sagi. Tulip. I don't know. Who does it belong to? What kind of race? Because if it was a Tauren and they had a pet cat named Tulip, that'd be cute. Name them Limp Bizkit. Also a valid option. Exactly, Cass, you're one of those people, for sure. So anything you don't have control of, let go. You can't do anything about it, you know? I mean, that day I was freaking out at you about that one problem I was having. I really needed a dose of my own medicine at that time. I should have been talking to myself, because really, I have no control over that, you know? That sort of stuff. You just don't. So let go. Tauren Hunter? Yeah, name it Tulip. Tulip Limp Bizkit. I don't know. It's up to you. I mean, I think blanketing in any sense, whether you're blanketing a group of people, you know, and putting them all under the same umbrella, Whether that's, calling them a certain name or trying to teach everyone the same way, anything like that, I feel like it's super destructive and actually detrimental to the society. You can still divvy people up, but divvy them up to how they learn best, Because otherwise, you're not going to get the most potential out of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you been?
I've been talking to this guy.
About what? Are you in love? Are you leaving
I'm
me?
in love.
Gabe's in love and he's leaving me for another guy.
No, he's
Another guy.
he's like a sculptor dude.
Oh, yeah? If you guys haven't seen Gabe's sculpts lately, go on his Instagram and check them out. I think they're on his Insta story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been super proud of them. They're really cute.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Just accidentally closed Chrome. No.
What are you going to do for the next 2 years while you open it? Yeah, that's true, Serenity. And see, I was just blanketing it by saying just the American school system. I'm sure that's that way everywhere, Mike thinks they're dope, Gabe.
Oh, thank you. No, I was corresponding with him for a bit. He was just he was asking me some questions, like if I was gonna make more or if I was gonna mass produce them or whatever.
Ooh. Those kind.
Yeah, and his English was a little broken.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know what gave me the impression that he was like Latino.
Trying to get him to sell them?
No.
Never mind.
But I got the impression that he was Latino, so I asked him if he's, whatever.
Yeah.
And so he is. He's from Mexico and all that. So,
Yo.
so I've been talking to him in Spanish, so it takes me a little bit more brain power to speak in Spanish.
Good. I tell you to speak as much as you need to, so you can keep it.
Yep.
Even if I don't understand it, speak it, and then translate it if you want. Maybe I'll learn it. It took 2 years. I got something, maybe. Oh. No, never, Soggy, never. Not in that sense. No babies. In terms of sculpting, yeah, lots of babies. And dogs, yeah. If I could have a bunch of dogs, I would, but I probably wouldn't want a ton. Red Eye, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Cabo and the other dude, they're getting serious. They're gonna have babies. Beautiful Mexican babs. Soggy, was it already your 12 month or was it your 11 month? I'm forgetting the last time you were on here.
I think he's over that much.
Are you already over? That's over here. Okay. I owe you an ATC. So think about what you want. You guys, did Nightshade leave? Nightshade, are you gone? It's the second time. Damn it, you came in and then you left. I need you. You guys, I love doing cons, but at the same time, I do too many. Tired. Oh no, Serenity, really? It did. Wait, did I do a thing for you? I think it showed up for us. Pretty sure. Okay, Soggy, that's okay. I mean, you'd want the ATC, right? I know you like art. Be basic if you want. If you just want a waffle, I'll draw you a waffle. Though I think I know what you're gonna ask for. Oh, Cass, don't be worried about that. We'll help you. Also, I'm gonna put it in your court to actually tell us like your schedule so we can talk about that one thing. All your questions, because I don't want to keep pushing that off because I know you need it. But we are very busy, so we're gonna need to like coordinate with you as soon as possible and then talk it through for the con thing. So maybe send us your schedule once you know it, because I know you just started the new job. So once you know, let us know and we'll coordinate.
Tell your friends to get with my friends, and then maybe we can be friends.
Yeah, because Cass, whatever cons you go to, I'll definitely, like, both Gabe and I would love to bunk with you. Because you're a similar mindset. I cannot stress enough how important I think it is to bunk with people at conventions and stuff that have a similar mentality as you. If you're not a partier, bunk with people who are not partiers. Okay? You're going to be so much happier. Like, being asleep and having people trickle in at 4 a.m. and stuff is not ideal.
Nope.
No. So, that's just a little bit of, whatever. Gabe and I, during cons, usually go to bed at, like, 11? Maybe?
Hey, so actually,
Local Florida shows is a good idea, Mike. Yeah, start local, start small, and then build up from there. If you went straight to doing New York Comic Con, no, you're gonna either fail, get overwhelmed, shit yourself, or all three. So don't do that. Don't do that. I was very lucky with when I started cons, I basically shadowed Gabe. It was kind of before we were dating, but kind of reached over to when we were dating. But I went with him to a library con, which is like, honestly, one of the saddest things. It's not a con. It's basically like, if you think of a Fisher-Price convention, where if you take a big con and you kind of distill it down into something cute and chibi, that's basically what it was, where there's like, 15 vendors, 15 artists, and like, they just funnel in some kids. I mean, sometimes you get paid for the day to be at a library con, but so I saw that first. I watched Gabe do that, and then we went to a bigger con and I watched Gabe do that, and then we eventually worked up to New York Comic Con and I was helping him behind the booth. And it was funny because I was drawing my con setup and how I wanted to dress and stuff, and I'm doing that now. So that felt really cool. So if you are planning on starting cons, kind of already start sketching out your atmosphere, your booth, all that you want to do with that. There's so many different setups you can actually do, and actually a lot of people are copying our friend Pete now, which is funny. If you know Pete Moorbacher, who does the Angelarium stuff, at the art show this weekend, there were probably at least 5 artists that copied his booth, basically to a T. The way he set up his prints, everything. He does kind of mentor people, but this was like next level, just kind of copy-paste what he's doing. But early on, figure out, because your booth needs to kind of fit what you're doing, right? Mine fits what I do. Gabe is slowly starting to get better at fitting his booth, because your booth is going to display things the way they need to be displayed. So for Gabe's mini paintings, since they're tiny, he needs to bring them up to people. He can't have them far back, so he's going to have them laid out on a thing that's elevated and kind of at their eye level, so they can look at them really easily because they're tiny. If you have really big pieces, you can throw those further back. And if you've got like books and stuff, you're going to need shelving. And remember to at least chunk everything as a product. Okay, you don't want stickers over here, stickers over there, whatever. Also, if you're doing stickers, do not hand cut them, get them actually made, or don't even bother. But make sure that your booth is very digestible with just a couple sections, Oh, soggy, I could do that. Yeah. Serenity, I don't. When I'm at a con, I treat it like it's my job. I'm there to work. I'm not really there to socialize. If it happens before or after the con or during, cool. But I don't usually leave my table because I see that part as my job. A lot of other artists, though, some can afford to have someone sit at their table and they can go look around and schmooze. Some don't and they just go do it anyway. I feel like if you're there, you spend a lot of money to get there. You spend a lot of money for the booth. Why would you leave it? You could attend a con at any time. A lot of the stuff you see at a convention is the same every time, right? And a lot of the artists you meet, I mean, you can meet them online too and stuff like that, but it really depends on what you want to do with your art career. If you really want to meet people and have a big art community, that's for you then. For me, I want to get my art out there and meet a lot of new people. And by people, meet a lot of new people, I mean like customers, fans, stuff like that. I want to share my art. I don't necessarily need to make an art community. I kind of already have it. And even if I didn't, I think it would just kind of happen. Like, you do meet these people whether you go seeking them or not sometimes, you know? Yes, we will be at New York, Mike. We will. I think we talked about that. So we only have 2 cons left this year, thank God. It was going to be 4, but I'm glad we canceled 2. But we'll be at Dragon Con and we'll be at New York Comic Con. Oh, Cass, go to sleep if you're tired. You know. Also, I cannot stress enough, get some earplugs and a sleep mask. Just because some con hotels have really bad drapes. Some con hotels, if you're like with people, they might open the blinds in the middle of the night and then in the morning it's beating you in the face. If you're that type that doesn't like that, like me, get a sleep mask and earplugs. I swear to God, you will not be disappointed. It's so much better. Like, I couldn't do cons without that. I'm a very light sleeper, both in hearing and light sensitivity, so I need that. Cass, you might also just need a break, homie. If you need to sleep. You might really need it. Remember, you can't do good art if you're busted up and broken down. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Yeah, you're welcome, Serenity. I really do think it's on a, person by person basis, like, what's important to you? So, like, example, Tim and Key are really good about, like, going around meeting people at a con and introducing themselves to artists and stuff like that. But for me, like I said, I treat it too much like a job, probably, where, I'm just there to sell stuff and, go back to the hotel room and just chill and do it again the next day. Because it's easier for them to make back their money, whether they're at their table or not, than for me. So I have to be there a lot longer and a lot more consistently than them to make back enough to break even, right? Where if they're back at their booth for like 20 minutes, they might already be making back the amount they, didn't make when they were out and about. So it's one of those things. It depends on who you are, your demographic, all that stuff. Dead End, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Welcome. You are now part of the Cloverkin. For we are all Cloverkin deep down. I'm actually kind of sad that this isn't looking exactly like it is in front of me, so I'm going to correct that. That's a bit better. Oh, Shepbook, thank you for the sub! You get the sub shrub now! And his rubbing of the nubs. This is the sub shrub. He's really cute. He's my baby. I have to still animate him into my intro so he's canon. I'm seriously going to level up my Twitch overlay in the next couple months because I've had this for about a year. But anyway, Shepbook, you get to make a wish while I rub the sub shrub's nubs. So, ready? Start wishing. Sub shrub, nub rubs. and then his little rope things, and a little dance, and then the melancholy clover comes out for you. For you. So melancholy. So bad. Thank you so much for this sub. Guava's here! Hi, Guava! Oh, Joka, thank you so much. I have that original still, too. I was actually going to put that up on Etsy soon. Because I actually can't bring that with me to Dragon Con. The robot reading, oh shit. Sagi, thank you! Yeah, I have to do yours soon. Maybe Thursday as a warm-up or something. Did you want a Tauren? Like, I mean, I guess I could do your Tauren with the cat. Since it's free, technically it's free. I'm doing it out of love. Sagi, make a wish. Make it count. Ready? Sub, shrub, nub, rub, go! Sub, shrub, rub, rub. Kick, 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 kick. Cloak. Cloak. I have to make one of these so bad. I feel weird that the tag's still on, but I cannot get rid of this tag. Look at how cute that is. Oh my god, he's so good. Anyway, if I make him, I'm gonna make it so his hair isn't as spiky. That's not how I'd make my sub-shrub. Also, his nubs are getting really dirty because I'll rub them when I'm working with pastels. So he's got these little, like, raw nibs. I'm not gonna say nibs because I think they're hands. Anyway. Yeah, Cass, you do. I can help you with that. That I'll let you pay me for, if you really want to pay me. Oh, Chef, you're welcome. Honestly, it's not usually so chill. I'll be completely transparent with you. It's not usually this chill. Usually we're lit up about something and we're yelling. But Gabe tonight is a little bit preoccupied with his work. And I am kind of just chill tonight, so... in the future, though, like I said, usually we're ranting about art stuff, so... Yes, Cass, yes. Well, that is a big thing, so the Twitch overlay thing is no joke. That takes a lot of time for me. I made Paladin's Twitch overlay on a stream, so usually I can, use that opportunity to actually say, hey, I make Twitch overlays as well for people. But... Oh, good, Shep. Well, then you're in the right place. Also, for those of you who are subscribed, I do plan on changing the emojis, because honestly, it happened when I first started Twitch. I just made the $5 tier. And I forgot to make the other ones because I was like, I'm not going to get these levels for a while. I did a couple times, and I feel pretty awful about it, because they obviously didn't have anything at their level. So I kind of want to make the, the $5 one that can be used kind of in fun circumstances, and maybe save the clover for more of an exclusive thing. I don't know. Oh, good. Good, Mike. Make sure it's 1920 by 1280. It'll be good. And when it comes to Twitch overlays, like, there's so many things you can do. I've had a lot of people copy mine just because it makes a lot of sense, but make sure your Twitch overlay works for you and what you want to do. I highly suggest at least having a face cam and having a work cam. All this other stuff is super auxiliary and plug and play if you need it or want it. I definitely think once you get bits, because when you become an affiliate, which is pretty easy to do, you can get bits. So I have a bit jar, people like blowing it up, have a donation bar. The bit boss here just kind of fits my motif of the RPG thing and fantasy stuff. And then the event list down there, I just like to showcase people and thank them and stuff and make sure they get some screen time. So for me, this all makes sense. But for someone else, they might want more screen space. And if that's true, shrink this area, right? Throw it up further in the corner, get rid of all this stuff below, and you get so much more screen space. I'm okay with not having it, but some people, really would rather have it. And that's fine, Serenity, like I said, So basically, Soggy, I can just make a cow, like an anthro cow. Because I probably won't really reference much stuff. If you do want it to be an actual Torn, I can, but I'm probably going to put on my own, like, outfits on it and stuff. Let's see. Oh, that works. No, Serenity, that's what Tim does. And I mean, Tim's super popular and his is super simple. Like, sometimes simple is fine. You don't need anything flashy if you don't want to. I'm kind of a thematic-asaurus, I'll say. I need things to be thematic. I need things to be cohesive and consistent so that, like, if somebody meets me at a convention and they come on my Twitch stream, it feels the same as my booth. Like, I need that. So, some people don't care as much, and that's totally fine. Tim is hip with the kids. Yeah, I guess. I don't know about that. He's hip with himself, that's for sure. Tim knows what Tim likes. No, Serenity, that's totally fine. Own it. You know, in any case, own it. It took me way too long to actually just be comfy with being okay with stuff. Like, I tried for too long to be not someone I wasn't, but, you know, just trying things all of the time when it's like, I always knew what I liked. I didn't like going out to clubs. I don't like going out to bars, but sometimes I would do it if friends wanted me to, and I just wanted to make them happy. No. You know, and now I stand my ground. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Nope. I don't want to do that. I mean, sometimes I'll do it because I know it's an important event. Like, we went to the art show awards that were at Gen Con, and that was probably important for me to go to, even though I didn't talk to anybody. But, you know, I was there, I made, you know, an appearance or whatever. Sometimes that's what you need to do. But, yeah, if you don't like that stuff, don't ever do things you don't want to do. I mean, unless you've never done them before and they could potentially be a good thing for you, you know, that's different. But, you know, once you've done things and you're like, yeah, that's not for me, then forget it. You don't have to do it. However, if it's something like the gym and you do it and you don't want to do it again, you should probably still do it. Keep going. It's good for you. Yeah, right? Pool's pretty cool. But then you gotta make sure you go to a bar where there aren't people who are asshats, and that can be tough. Like, even if you do just want to play pool, you gotta make sure there's no, like, Uber biker drunks, or it's not, like, terrible there. Or, like stupid college kids. No offense to any college kids here. But there are stupid ones. Oh, bye, Jaunty. Gym's good for you, Guava. You gotta go. Especially since you're a growing, learning boy. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Oh my god. So on the way back from SuperCon, I had someone in the seat in front of me on the plane that I don't know what her deal was, but she was just doing this like all the time when she's talking to the guy, and she like would like try to sleep, but then she'd fuck it up and just move all the time. And I had the thing down, and I got smart and put my board on it, but it was still doing this thing, and I was trying to ink. So I would actually get really good at knowing when she's going to throw herself forward. And I mean, this was just a normal lady that was just super eccentric with her talking. Obviously, if it was somebody that had, like, you know, they were handicapped or had disabilities, I would have been totally just like, oh my god, everything's, obviously it's fine. But she was very much just talkative and eccentric and throwing her arms around when she talked. And it was just like, I'm trying to ink, what do I do? And, you know, I would keep going, but then I'd feel her start to shift and I'd lift up my pen. And then she'd do her thing and I'd kind of go with it and I'd go back down and start doing it. So I recently bought an iPad Pro. Actually, I suppose I could show that. It's pretty cute. I got a keyboard for it too. I still haven't changed my background or anything, but it's a pretty rose color. And I made it into a little laptop, obviously, and it's got little light up keys. It's really cute on the thing. You can probably see it's got green. And it actually has this cool thing where it swivels too. So I can, like, show people things easily if I'm doing them. But I used to use my old iPad a ton for writing, and also Clip Studio in here can also animate. So I can animate on the go, I can actually draw on the go. I've got the Apple Pencil. I earned this. Damn it, I earned it. Because I had used the crap out of my old iPad, like I said, for writing a bunch of my older stories. And I love it. It's like a really toned down laptop, which I love. I don't need a big time laptop. Nothing like that. What's everybody doing right now? What are you up to? I'll probably be stopping in less than 10 minutes, so... I saw that, Soggy. How'd that go? I was super proud of you. Did you have fun? That's the only real thing we get out of it. You ended up just folding the paper. Hey, do some origami. I bet you'd like it. You seem much more like 3D than just drawing. You seem like you'd like the whole hands-on, you know. Have you tried painting models before? You might like that. Aw, Serenity. You wait till I'm done to leave? You're so sweet. Hey Gabe, do you want to do me a favor and see if anyone's on to raid? Thank you. Yeah, and Cass, if you're still here, don't worry. We'll be going through your stuff soon to figure out what to do for you.
You got Connor Hughes and Mary Contreras.
Oh no, who do I pick? What are they doing? I met Mary this weekend actually at Gen Con, you guys. It was crazy. This sucks because Connor raided me one time recently and I saw Mary this weekend, so I feel like I'm torn now.
Well, Connor looks like he's got a Kickstarter going, I guess?
Oh really?
He got 13 hours left. I think, maybe. Yeah, he's got 12 hours left.
Maybe we should do Connor this time. What's Mary doing though?
She is playing a game.
Okay. Should probably do Connor then. Aw, Serenity. Well, we plan on going over to Europe again at some point before we get our dog, you know, for one last hurrah before we have a baby, you know. So maybe we can meet up with you at some point then, if you're ever in the area or something. For Cass, though, we may not be meeting her, you know, for what I'm talking about for her mentorship, but we will be having a call with her. Just like for anybody who gets a mentorship, a lot of them require like Skype calls and stuff, so I can actually lead you through things. So I actually think I might be raising the price of them for that reason, because it actually takes a long time to explain this stuff. And I have no time for anything. These next couple months until Christmas are going to be insane for me, so remember, I also have a part-time job, and I got probably around 20 commissions this weekend, so that's in addition to the ones I've already got, and like I said, I've got that job, so I have like no time, which I'm okay with. I'm making good money. I'm actually finally making better money than I was when I had a job, like a legit job, so that was actually a pretty cool realization, and I'm a million times happier, so sometimes, you know, those sacrifices are worth it. Just takes a while. Oh, Guava, I'll lock you in. You're one of my regulars, so I'll lock you into what it is right now, so don't worry about it. That goes for any of you guys. Any of you regulars. Technically VIP, you know. Which one were you thinking, Guava? Oh my god, have you guys had cherry plums? Every time I get them, I forget how good they are and how much I love them. I love them so much. They're so good. They're the only, like, spliced fruit I appreciate. I hate the grapes. I think those are awful. Then there's cotton candy apples.
Mm-hmm.
I hate those too. Those taste like crap. I'm sorry. Oh, Guava, no. So, yeah, it's changed. Yes, Glitter, even you lurkers. I know who you are. So I have these ones. These ones take a lot of time. So does this one. Actually, they all take a lot of time. But the month-to-month ones, the products is based on books, prints, postcards, stickers, whatever. We do that month to month depending on how much you need. The gauntlet is me basically kicking your ass as much as you need me to. We figure out a plan for you to basically fail faster and get you hardened and confident with art, so that's why I called it the gauntlet. But the starting Twitch, the conventions, and the commissions, those can all be pretty much done within a month. The Twitch one might actually move over to being month to month. My last Twitch mentorship actually took a while, but I might not, I don't know. But if I did raise it, I'd probably raise it to 120, because the Twitch one, out of actually all these, that takes a lot of time. But they all come with branding workshops, so if you're not sure about your art name or anything like that, I try to help you figure that out. I've got a lot of branding background stuff, so I can help you. But anyway, if you're interested in that, email me. However, like I said, it'll probably be a long time before we actually start doing stuff. Unless, of course, you're okay with me doing a little bit here and there. Totally up to you. Totally up to you. Grapes smell good and taste terrible. I'll give you that. Sorry for the noise. How loud is this, by the way? Is it terribly loud? Like, is it unbearable? Or is it just annoying? Because usually I mute the microphone, but I just want to know. Is it bad? Nightshade! Oh my god, where have you been? Did you ask your sister? So it's loud. I won't do it again. Oh, so Serenity. See, she's hardcore. Come on, Nightshade. Alright, Soggy, you're a bitch too. Okay. Nightshade, tell me about the thing. I want to finish yours and kick it out. That's all I'm waiting on. Also, sorry for those with headphones. In the future, I'll mute it. Okay. Do you know anything that he just likes in terms of foliage or anything? Or what if I gave the peacock a scarf? Because all I'm thinking is that here it is so far. So if I gave it a scarf, it could just fill this area. I'm totally cool with that. Like if it's blowing in the wind and it's like doing that. What do you think of that? Hey, Buggles! He just loves mowing grass. Wow. So simple. Charming, though. I love grass. Okay. Awesome. So you're into well, let's just do that real quick. Switch gears. I'm gonna have to figure out then how to make these kind of, but, alright. Let's see. I'll stop the stream after I finish the scarf. I just want to do it really quick so I don't forget. Remember, ain't no shame in turning your paper. You'll get better results. And I added all the ladybugs on the frog, Nightshade. Give it a big fatty. What the fuck? Soggy! Oh. I love mowed grass and the smell of it so much. It should be a candle, but I don't know why no one's done it yet. But they mowed the grass today and I was super sad because it was really warm out, so we couldn't have the window open. You know? Sad about it. Anyway. So, Kukui, our hamster, is on a sleep schedule now that whenever we go to a convention, he gets back on the regular light and dark sleep schedule so that when we come back, he's kind of off. So, and I think he forgets who we are sometimes. But it takes him a while to get back into, you know, being awake when we're awake, so it's funny. Milady Mugs! Oh! I want to call them Milady Bugs. Oh my god. And they've got little fedoras. Oh my god. Milady Bugs. Please, this needs to be a pin. Oh my god. Oh, really, Nightshade? Is it good? The Yankee Candle scent? Oh my god. Buggles is ladybugs. What do you mean, Buggles? You're ladybugs? What does that mean? Okay, Nightshade, here's the other question. Does he have a favorite color? I'm gonna guess it's blue. If he's Mr. Boring Basic, I'm gonna say he likes blue. So I could just make it a blue peacock with a blue scarf. I think that would probably be pretty on point then. Pumpkin waffles candles? That sounds great. Oh no, Serenity, yeah. Right after I finish this, I'm gonna stop. We're gonna raid Connor though. Apparently Connor's got a Kickstarter going on that you guys can check out. He's a good guy. He rates me a lot. Sounds dirty, but it's not. Oh, I'm a lady and bugs is short for Buggles. Aww. He's a basic bro and you're giving him a peacock? Just kidding. Hey Shani. It's true, you do. Alright. So, Nightshade, you're good with this? Good to roll? You're gonna go blue? He does wear a lot of blue. See? I've dated basic guys. I know they like blue. Night Mike, thanks for coming. Gabe, can you check that Connor's still streaming?
So?
Is it just Connor Hughes, all one word? Yeah, Hughes?
I'll put it in the thing.
Oh, see, there's an E in there. Alright, guys. Oh, and there's one N. Whoa. You sure?
I copy and pasted it.
It's one N? Wow, okay. Oh, good, Nightshade. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay. I'm gonna add that gold into both of them, too. So that should be kind of striking. Especially for your sister who wanted that topaz anyway. Alright, I'm gonna go. I got more to do. And Thursday, I'll be on at 4 p.m. Central, which is basically 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. 7 hours ago. Thursday. Yeah, or be on Gabe's stream tomorrow. Gabe, you want to throw your Twitter in? Or Twitch? God damn, everything's T. Go to Gabe's stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. CST. Otherwise. Yeah, Shani, I'm sorry we're ditching out now, but we started probably 2 hours ago, something like that. I have a lot to do tonight, so I gotta get going. But I'll be back Thursday, and Gabe will be back tomorrow, and I'll be on there with him. So, Nightshade, thanks for answering all the questions, and I appreciate you guys all being here with me, alright? We're gonna raid Connor. He's a good guy. He's got a Kickstarter going, so let's help him out. Anyway, thanks for joining. We'll see you later, alright? Thanks so much, guys. Bye!